Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So I thought I'd come and do a live show, a live stream this afternoon. So it's going to be very informal, but I thought I'd cover a few things that's been going on with me and with the channel, of course. But also, I really wanted to talk about brand new bikes that have been coming out. Now, I've been inundated the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks with lots of media releases from motorcycle companies, and you can easily sign up to these yourself. But I'm seem to be getting a lot recently, most notably from Honda. Honda seem to be doing not necessarily new bikes, but they're coming out with new variations or new color schemes, that kind of thing. Excuse me, that kind of thing. Yamaha, I've been getting a lot from Yamaha as well, but there are a lot of bikes coming out, and this is the season. The autumn scene is where traditionally bike manufacturers come out with new stuff, right? So I thought I'd discuss a little bit about that. I thought I'd discuss, some of the motorcycle press over here in the UK and what they're seeing as the new products that are coming out as well, and just open it up to anybody who wants to ask any questions or raise any issues as well. So it's a very informal live stream today. It's purely just to shoot the breeze, really, and just discuss a few things. So, but first of all, want to chat about the channel. So yesterday was the last video of the older stock, as it were, that I produced. So from now on, there won't be as many videos. There won't be daily videos at all. It's going to be a lot less, but it's going to be more of what I really want to do or what I really want to see. So what I'm planning for as a kind of an average is on a Monday and a Friday to have a video release. So for the next Monday, Friday, and Monday, you've got another 3 videos coming, put it that way. But I'm not going to religiously stick to that. But if there is a lot of content to produce, I'll do it. If not, it's not really a big factor. Hello, Diego from USA. How are you? Thanks for joining. So anyway, so there's going to be lots of new content coming on the channel. It's going to be taken in different directions as well, but I definitely want to do more of this live stream type content as well, and just give an opportunity to really kind of address some of the comments that are made in real time as well. I'm just going to plug in this this computer. Apologies, because I've just noticed that the battery is running a bit flat. Just bear with me 1 second. Nothing like being prepared, eh? All right, hold on. This is where the whole thing blows up now. Right, hold on, let's just make sure that's charging. It is. Brilliant. Okay. So, there's going to be new content coming. There's going to be content about motorcycles, but also on the live streams, I'm going to open up to different discussions as well. So as I say, this one really, I'm just going to talk about some of the new bikes that are coming out and some of my thoughts on that as well. But let me just add a couple more here. Oops, wrong one. I'm just trying to bring up the websites here. There we go. Let's do that one. Do that one, and another good one. So there are 2 websites here in the UK. One's called Motorcycle News, and the other one's called Visor Down. They're pretty good websites, and I don't mind promoting them in any way. They're pretty decent motorcycle channels, and usually the columns are pretty decent, I would say. Well written, but a lot of it is just, most of the time I just look at these websites for general news info that's coming that I've already found out about, but I just like to read what other people have to say. But the info that I've been getting this week as well, let me just share this screen with you so that you can see it as well. Let me have a look there. Right, there we go. Right, so this is my website here. Let me just start from this side here. There we go. Right, so this is a RevelatorAlf as well. So say the whole website has had a brand new facelift as well the last couple of weeks. So everything is on there. If you're interested in finding out more about me or about other stuff related to RevelatorAlf, the channel, as it were, it's all on the website as well. There's a homepage, there's shop here as well, and it's got all the products as well, all the links to the shop as well. Links that all the products that I use either on the bike or in the workshop for this year, 2022, and every year I renew that as well. Sort of contact details for me and how you can support the channel, and obviously a little bit more about me, all about me. And then just a gallery of and I update these photos on a regular basis as well. Talking about sort of the support of the channel, obviously just by subscribing, by liking and sharing the videos, all that kind of stuff. You can buy the merchandise and support that. There are stickers now available. There we go. Look, stickers that you can get as well. And also you can donate via the PayPal icon on the side here. There we go. This icon here. You can do that. Or at the bottom, there's this little screen here at the bottom, this ticker tape thing here as well. If you can do your super chats and super thanks and all that kind of stuff, and super stickers if you're into that as well. But anyway, listen, enough about that. All I'm saying is that the old type of videos well, not necessarily the old type. I've stopped making videos for a while, and I've taken lots of breaks to reassess what I really wanted to do with the channel. So now you're going to get new types of videos from now on. I say still motorcycle related, but I'm not going to do them as often. I'm not going to do them with that I have to get content out. I just really want to produce the content that I want to produce, whether it's about Harleys, whether it's about other bikes, and also going to different places and that kind of thing. But also sometimes not even talking about bikes. Yeah, I'll be on my bike, but I'll be just going somewhere completely different, or speaking to people completely different as well. So I'm really sort of tailoring the channel towards what I really find interesting to bring out there, and hopefully you'll be interested in that too as well. But say it's going to be motorcycle themes, of course, as most of it, all from a biker's point of view, that kind of thing. All right, let's just talk about the new bikes that have been coming out. And there are lots of bikes. There are lots of manufacturers that are coming out with new bikes. Over the next month or so, you're going to see lots of drip feeding of new models. And this is the tactic that a lot of these manufacturers doing these days. They're drip feeding new bikes all the time. So Honda, if you look at Honda Goldwing, for the 2023 model, I mean, if you look at this bike, actually, I know a couple of other people, have got them. YouTubers have got them. The Missington Flyer's got one, hasn't he? That kind of stuff. They're great bikes. I mean, I saw one up close and personal at the bike show last year in this color. Actually, I think it was in this color. No, actually, I saw the year before last. It was in this color, or very similar to this color, and it looks really nice. It looks really nice. There are two color options. There's one what was it? It's a silver and blue type color, and this other one is a maroon black or something that they call it, which is a bit okay. Why is that all frozen there? Let's just see that I'm frozen. But there we go. Hold on. Can anybody still hear me? For some reason, I am completely frozen here. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. I don't know what happened there, but it was something went wrong. So basically, I'm screen sharing at the moment, so that's why there might be a bit jittery. So this is a bit of an experiment today, just to see if this is working okay. But anyway, listen, so let me just get back to that screen. Get rid of that. There we go. So now Honda also, they've got the year 23, the CBR 1000R, and this looks nice, I've got to say. This is kind of mean strip back Flagship of Honda's Neo Sports Cafe shows off a sleekly aggressive stance, highlighting the unique motorcycling proposition it represents. I mean, I do love the way they word these things. You know, it's almost like, you know, they're selling a bit of architecture, which I suppose it is in many ways. You know, but it's just, don't you find it? You know when people are talking about buildings, or they might be talking about wine, or they might be talking about God knows whatever, they do tend to over elaborate on these things, don't they? It's an infusion of soul and performance and technical prowess, you know, and all this kind of stuff. I do find it a bit laughable when they talk about this. But anyway, look, it looks pretty nice, I've got to say. Let me just scroll down here. I think it's got a couple of options: green, black. It's got Showa full suspension, 4-piston radio-mounted front brakes, TFT instrument display, smartphone voice control system. So the CBR 1000 for 2023 is going to be available in Bordeaux red metallic, and the black edition will now be available. Also, the black edition will now also be available in matte jeans blue metallic as well. Yeah, nice. No, nice bike. I've got to say, quite like that one. They got the monkey bike. Monkey is a little favorite, isn't it, from lots of people. All over there as well. And yeah, it's a decent little bike there, I would say. And I know quite a few people who've got these as well, especially, they got a Vans or something like that. They get one of these, just to put in the back of a camper or something like that. They're a bit heavy though, for a light bike, if you know what I mean, a small bike. But they do it okay. It's going to be available in new pearl shining black and updated banana yellow, which is always lovely, and pearl nebula red, which is marvelous there, isn't it? CMX 500 Rebel 2023, nice. I thought they were going to make a difference on the was it the 1000 or the 1100? I thought they were going to do something different with that, but they just haven't really. They've just kept it as it is, which is a bit of an odd one, really. But there we go. And that is a Rebel version fitted with accessories, head cowl. Yeah, it's all. I mean, it looks okay. I mean, if that's your thing, I just thought the CMX 500 Rebel always looks a bit weird, from a side profile point of view. That's all. I mean, I just thought it just looked a bit odd. But no, it's a decent bike. I mean, if you're comparing, especially the 1000 or the 1100 or whatever it is, I'm not sure where that's being sold. Whether that's being sold all over or in different markets as well. But that is definitely, a decent bike. The other one, the 2023, they got the NT 1100, that kind of sports tourer as well, and that's a half decent bike as well. Yeah, that's really good. This is kind of the update from the VFR, isn't it? Really, this is kind of how it's evolved. It's not the VFR, but it's kind of the legacy or the next version, as it were. The NC750X, which is kind of a mid-range roadster, I suppose, modern roadster. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's kind of, this is where we're getting onto sort of generics now, generic bikes and things like that. The X ADV, Honda X ADV, that's a nice little commuter. If you're into that kind of thing. And also the Forza 750. This Forza 750, if I can just scroll down, if it unlocks for me, they, in that Forza range, Honda make something like a 125. I think they do a 50, 125, 250, 350, all in this sort of Forza range, which is little scooters, basically, urban scooters, which are very popular as well. Right, let me get rid of all these. And if I can just get this and get rid of that. Some reason. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Motorcycle news. As I say, it's a good source of new information, really. But say the new bikes. There we go. And so there's a lot coming out at the moment. There's a lot coming out. You got the Tenere, It's got the Yamaha 700 as a limited edition Moto Guzzi, which is quite nice. New BMW S1000RR also gets an update. First update since 2019, it's saying there. Ducati Multistrada V4 gets more range, improved comfort, and off-road capability. So there's quite a lot happening in the motorcycle world right now, and you often find this in the autumn region or autumn season. There's always a lot going on. MASH, I've got to say this one here. This is what really piqued my interest a couple of weeks ago. The MASH 650 X-Ride. I say MASH is one of those manufacturers. They're kind of European design houses. A lot of the stuff also comes from China as well, from their products. And I think it's a mixture of European sourced and Chinese based. A lot of manufacturers are, using overseas components as well, of course. But as I say, I really like this because this is kind of an old school way, a throwback to old days, old school scramblers. 650 though, and it's a trail version. Let me just get over here. A French firm, they're from France, MASH, by the way. MASH Motors have released a trail version of their single-cylinder X-Ride 650 called the Trail, offering off-road credentials on Euro styling at a bargain basement cost. Appearing back in 2020, the X-Ride 650 Classic was Mass's second foray into large capacity machines. So now they've come off with this trail version, this off-road version, and it's basically saying it's powered by the same 647cc air-cooled single taken from the Classic and produces a claimed 40 brake horsepower at 6,000 rpm. Look, I mean, it's okay, I think this would be a nice little thumper, but don't expect way too much, and it's going to be quite heavy as well. First used by Honda in the NX650 Dominator and XR 650 dirt bike. It's an A2 license friendly with power delivered via 5-speed gearbox. The main difference from the Trail lies in the wheels, sporting a 21-inch front and an 18-inch rear spoke rims compared to the sister model, which had 17 inches. Yeah, so off-road tires are always bigger, aren't they, than the road tires as well. Does it say what the price of these is? Here we go. Retro silent, and gold analyzed look far beyond it. It's expected to be £5,599. Look, I quite like this. I quite like this bike as an option. It's nothing spectacular, but I just like this kind of retro feel to it. I kind of this retro styling. I like that. I think sort of dirt bikes these days, or trail bikes, I say, they've moved so far away from a trail bike into being more like motocrossers or full-on enduro, that if you just want a trail bike that you can hit some trails with some ground clearance and some high mud guards and a bit of protection to the engine on the underside, I think this is my kind of style if I was going to get one. Whether it's a smaller version or a bigger version, as I say, this is the kind of thing. But as I say, let me just go back there. What have I done there? Right, hold on. Latest bikes, new bikes. That MASH, I say, the KTM try for new demo mode added to the 2023 KTM 890 Adventure R. Nico enter full size motorcycle with market the NCN01. Yeah, so lots of new motorcycle manufacturers that I say coming out. They're producing their versions, let's say. Moto Guzzi, they released a V7 Stone Special Edition as well here. All very nice, and saying this is going back a little bit. This is interesting. ARC, the electric motorcycle manufacturer here as well. It's quite interesting that they're going for another version. They have revealed plans for a faster two-geared version of the ultra-premium Vector Electric alongside the new monocoque chassis to spawn 2 off-road plugins for 2024. No, I don't know what the actual price of these is. Well, these are bespoke electric bikes, and they are, I think in the region of £100,000 or something ridiculous. I don't know. I actually don't know what the price of these is, but it's interesting. Flat Cap Racer, yeah, have a great day. Have a great day. Enjoy drag racing. But there we go. But yeah, that Arc Vector. This new bike, so that's quite an interesting one. To say they want to come out with a new version of that as well. Let's just news as well. There was another one as well that I wanted to come up here as well. Ducati, the Diavel gains the V4 engine for 2023, and I think that's it. I think there's another. These are the major players right now. The major players, Honda, I say, Moto Guzzi, I wouldn't say a major player, but they've brought out some new stuff, or new versions or variations, but definitely Honda, Ducati. They've got some new tech. They've got some new info or some new bikes coming out, some new versions, I say. Anything brand new? No, but there's, new variations for 2023 as well. Right, so I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just get out of that. I think what I might do, because it is starting to stutter a little bit, let me see if I can stop sharing, get rid of that. And yeah, so let me just see if I can get another one on here. There we go. Right, so new bikes, here we go. Visor down. I wanted to show visor down as well, so let me just show that one. And hopefully, Chrome tab. This one, is it? Yeah, so hopefully, just make sure that's working. Yeah, there we go. So again, they come out with. Hopefully, you can see all this, and let me know if you can't. But you say, like all magazines and all publications, they all come out with the same stories, don't they? I remember I was accused once of copying somebody else's report of a new motorcycle, and said, well, actually, I get the same press releases, advanced press releases that they get as well, so that they copied me, and you're taking what it says in the press release, and then you're rewording it a little bit, but essentially saying what is in the press release and coming out. The nerve to say that I'd taken it from their publication. But anyway, what I'm saying is they all come out with the same stories. So the Ducati Multistrada V4 rally allowance for 2023. Oh, Kawasaki, yes, that was the other one. So they've come out with their Versys here. Their Versys here for, say, 2023. The ZH2 pricing and colours announced. They got the Versys in the 650 and the 1000 forms, which would be quite interesting. Let's have a look, see what the pricing is. I've always liked the Versys actually as an ADV type bike. I always thought they're really good. Let's just have a look. There's lots of, if you want a no nonsense bike that does all the ADV stuff, then Kawasaki Versys 650, or the the big the 1000. Yeah, perfectly fine, perfectly good. And here we go. So the Versys 650. Here we go. It's saying Versys 650, just the bike. Forget about the Tourer versions, but the bike is £8,249, and the Versys 1000 is £10,879. Then obviously you got the different packages, but the 2023 Kawasaki ZH2 range, which is this super naked version as well. I mean, look at this bike. This is just, it kind of looks a little bit funny here. I don't know what it reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of a tortoise head there, sticking out the shell without the shell, if you know what I mean. I know that's a really bad explanation, but there we go. But it's coming in at 19,799. That's a hefty price, isn't it? That's a hefty price for a bike. But anyway, so that's let me just see what else they've got here. ZX4R, to be revealed on October the 1st. So today, there should be the new bike coming out today. The Honda Goldwing, as I say, it's already got new colors, bit more tech. Same with the CMX 500, the Rebel, CBR 1000, and the Monkey, all getting new colors and things like that. Royal Enfield Shotgun 650, a new Bullet 350 spotted during test. So Royal Enfield are going to be coming out with new bikes, and they do look nice, don't they? I'll tell you, Royal Enfield are one of those manufacturers that are just coming on. They're just coming on. They're just getting better and better. Now, this is one that caught my eye a few weeks ago. Moto Guzzi V100 Mandello Aviazione Navale. The it's got a lot of aviation styling, as you can see. It's obvious by the picture there as well. But it's a new special edition bike has arrived from Mandello Delario as a Moto Guzzi V1000 Mandello Aviazione Navale taxis to the runway. Oh, very droll. Yeah, some nice lines in a very typical Moto Guzzi styling, I would say. Yeah, so it's quite nice. I mean, there was, KTM, as I say, got that new bike. It is an interesting one. Again, because I kind of like small bikes as well. But Kawasaki could be bringing a W175 to the UK after it lands in India. See, for me, I started off with Kawasaki KE175 when I was a boy, and I think that 175 200, but that 175 250 range of a bike is really nice. It's a nice little launch pad, because it's not going to cost a lot of money. Plus, you just buy it off with a bigger license. Let's say it'd be an A2 license, so these would be, wouldn't they? And they're fast enough. And if you could have something like this with a trail version, I think a lot of people would go with that. I think a lot of people will go with that. So I quite like that. As I say, Kawasaki coming out. Next gen CF Moto here. They're bringing out their new Roadster as well. These Chinese brands, as I say, they are coming on strong. I've made videos about it in the past as well. That they are definitely starting to come on strong as well. And they're making better products all the time, aren't they? They're making better products. But listen, that was just a really quick intro into some of the new bikes that come out. So I've been sent lots and lots of press releases this last week. Pardon me, I have to have a little bit of libation here. Yeah, non-alcoholic libation, full of caffeine. I've been getting lots of press releases the last few weeks as well. The new bikes, new products. And I say this is a season. I always call this the biking silly season because there's always stuff. There's always stuff going on. There's always the manufacturers that are coming out with new stuff. If you sort of pay attention to this, this kind of thing, and this is why it was a big surprise a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, when Harley Davidson decided to abandon their autumn launches of their new motorcycles, or their new products, I should say, because it's not always motorcycles, it's products in general. Whereas other motorcycle manufacturers, they stayed true to it. They didn't change tack really. They just carried on with it. And I always thought that Harley Davidson, since that time, have been behind the curve with new products. But what they have done, they flipped it. They've done the old flipperoo on everybody, because they've created a kind of a demand or an expectation that or enthusiasm, let's say, for any new product or any new thing or any new motorcycle that they bring out. So that's that they build up a groundswell of interest as opposed to just dumping the whole lot at one stage. They just keep on drip feeding new products, and other manufacturers are starting to do similar kinds of things as well. That they don't release everything at the same time. They sort of drip feed something one after another throughout the year. And it seems to be, I assume for Harley Davidson, it seems to be working better. I mean, I'm not you know, I like this type of year. So I've got a fly there. I like this type of year. Sorry, this time of year when, you know, the manufacturers come out with new stuff and their new products. There's a lot of, I mean, it does seem to be tech. Autumn seems to be a tech month, doesn't it, for the next year? Because if you're going to sell a new product for next year, you want to start knowing about it beforehand, don't you? And people like me need to start reviewing that product. So if you're into your cameras and all that sort of stuff, okay, well, there's been lots of new iPhone has been coming out. The new GoPro 11 has been coming out. The 360 cameras just coming out as well. You know, so there's lots of tech companies that are bringing out their products for next year, or they're releasing them right now. Well, why do you think that is? Because they want a groundswell of sales to run up to Christmas, and also to, you know, have a good lead into next year as well. So it's a really strange one when Harley Davidson just say, no, we're going to delay everything, come out of this bubble, and we're just going to do our own thing from January. So again, it works at a one level, but they seem to be missing out on another. Plus, as we know, motorcycles, cars and everything, there's such a delay in getting some of these bikes or cars these days, because of the global thing as well. So it's, you know, it's an interesting one as well, isn't it? SSW, hello, how are you? From Oregon, lovely part of the world. I remember spending lots of time up and down Oregon many years ago, into Washington and then back down to California. Lovely. So it's anyway, as I say, but there are lots of, I mean, if you keep if you keep your eyes wide open right now, a lot of the bikes, a lot of the manufacturers are bringing out new stuff. Some of it is surprising. Some of it is still the same old stuff. You know, it's just wrapped up in a different wrapping, different bits of different tech, and nothing groundbreaking. But some of it is really interesting. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how good or how bad some of this stuff is. You know, but I say it's for Harley Davidson, if you're a Harley Davidson fan, you're watching this for Harley Davidson news. You know, the only emails I get on a regular basis these days are for new shirts or, you know, stuff like that. There aren't any. It's merchandise stuff that I get. I get to see these days. It's not actually new products, new bikes. Now, coming up towards January, or coming up towards December, November, December, I'll probably start getting a lot more feeds from my sources, let's say, if I want to call it that. And you start to get an inkling of what Harley Davidson might be doing for 2023. But as I keep on saying to people, or what I've said in previous videos, nobody really knows until there's an official statement by Harley Davidson. And the way they do it these days is that they don't release anything to the press. And let's just say, if you want to call me as part of that press gathering, collective, as it were, because I get all the feeds and all the info, we're not even told anything. The press aren't even told anything until either the day or the same as everybody else. So it's I just find it's interesting with Harley Davidson, the way they do it, and Indian motorcycles as well. You know, I look at them and I think, well, they it's almost like the same playbook at Harley Davidson. They try and do something a bit different, but it's not much. There's not a lot of groundbreaking stuff from them right now. I don't think so, anyway. Look, I know you got to give them a break, and all manufacturers, you got to give them a break, I think, because they're dealing with difficult times with the global situation. Obviously, interest rates, inflation is going up through the roof. We're not really sure who's going to be in the market to buy, bikes, especially big bikes, and most, new bikes, expensive bikes. So it'll be an interesting thing as well. Couple more people coming in now. Alan, I have to watch our video later. I still wait and see the 1300 Honda Shadow or the VTX in Belt Drive. Yeah, I haven't heard anything of that either as well. Actually, I certainly haven't been sent anything on that. Says W, I want to see Triumph's new electric motorcycle. Harley Davidson, as far as I'm concerned, as a company, would have been better off using being run by a bowling pin manufacturer. Wow, there's lots of criticisms of Harley Davidson, of course, and I have been one of those people in the past as well. But I kind of think that it's one of those things right now that all manufacturers are. I think not just motorcycle manufacturers are going to be, especially automotive manufacturers, especially cars and motorcycles, are going to be struggling a little bit. And it's just, how much people can afford. I keep on saying this all the time, telling you how much people can afford, or for brand new vehicles. And whether they're going to hold on. When things are tight, people tend to hold on to things, don't they? They tend to hold on for a little bit longer and all that kind of stuff. So, there we go. But say, there are lots, there are lots of new models on there. I mean, look, I'm sure you got your own publications which you go to. I don't often read the publications, I've got to say, that much. But say, these two, Visor Down and Motorcycle News. Let's have a look here. Let me just quickly show you here again. There we go. That one is it? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Just make sure that is tracking up. If that is tracking up, yeah. There we go. It's a good publication if you want to get it in the physical forms. These are both decent, but there are lots of decent ones, and it depends where you are in the world. Of course, you'll have your own go-to magazines or publications or online publications as well, and they'll bring you the news and whatever. I mean, this is why I always say this: always be careful about what you're listening to or what you're quoting when you're talking about new motorcycle models, because I found this quite a lot in the past when I've talked about new bikes or a particular bike. Then somebody will say in the comments, let's say, oh yeah, this is a new bike, it's coming out for next year. And then I'll say, well, it might be coming out where you are, but not where we are. So every area of the world, a region, has its own new motorcycles that come out. And the manufacturer changes it. They change it. So, I mean, classic one, for Harley Davidson, where I was, what I was saying, for the bike that I ride, the Sport Glide, I kept on saying to people that they are, what I've heard was that they were going to shut down the Sport Glide. They were going to cut it down. And I was saying this for about 3 years beforehand. Well, within the first year, the rumors I heard that it was going to be shut down. And now, where we didn't know, or where I didn't know, and I never said for definite, it's where in the world it would be shut down. But in the US, it was shut down. In Europe and the rest of the world, it carried on. Whether it continues for next year, that'll be an interesting one. So I've got a feeling it may not. But there we go. I mean, so it's, if you're into new bikes, obviously, let's say these two publications for me on the news. That's it, the news bikes. As I said, they've, the BMW S1000R, this bike here, which is probably one of the best sports replica bikes on the road at the market. I mean, it's just an awesome machine. And if you like sports bikes, I mean, it's a really awesome machine. And look at the power figures here: 206.5 brake horsepower at 13,750. 206 brake horsepower. Torque is down at 83.4 at 11,000, but it doesn't need the torque because it's a sports bike, right? Yeah, it needs a little bit of torque, but not like crazy torque like Harley Davidson's, right? 999 cc liquid cooled inline 4, 197 kilos curb weight, and it starts at 17,000. I mean, That's a lot of bike for that money. Granted, if you're into sports bikes, that's definitely the one to go for. But I say the Moto Guzzi come out with a V100, that Mandello Sports Tourer bike. As the Tenere, I've always liked Yamahas. I've got to say, I've always liked Yamahas, and especially their Tenere bikes as well. Sorry, just keep on coming up with those ads there. But look, I mean that is a nice bike. I've ridden this, great bike. It is. It's a really good bike, and it will go everywhere as well. Nice. I mean, a lot of the manufacturers, Ducati, come out with this Desert X as well. So a lot of the bikes. I mean, if you look at this one down here, I've got to say this Caballero, because as I said to you before, I like the old school sort of scramblers, the old school trail bikes, and I like that. I've always liked the Caballero 500. So that MASH 650. Nice bike, but this is a very, very capable bike, and it's not overly heavy like the big ADV bikes as well. So I think this is where the market is for me, where it was going for a long time. But as I say, there's some great models there. Let me just have a quick look at the other one. I say the MASH 650 here, that was a good one. Ducati coming out with some nice stuff as well. Nico, let's have a look here. Yeah, this is this funky looking impressive Spectre 125 isn't from Yamaha, but instead the latest offering from China. Yeah, Chinese bikes are just going to get more and more. Just watch it. I mean, and they're coming in for about £3,000 So I think it's going to be one of those cases where decent bikes, they run and run. If you just want a small bike for a little run around, yeah, perfect. That's what you want. Especially if somebody's just starting off riding, they haven't got a lot of money, or they're going to get their parents to try and buy them a bike and they haven't got a lot of money. Then yeah, great. Suzuki just come out with the next generation V-Strom and SV Spied with a new engine platform, and they've got a parallel to parallel twins, I think, are they? Something like that. Look, lots of bikes here, lots and lots of bikes. So there we go. I wanted to have a chat with you and discuss my new setup here in the studio, as it were. So I'm working with different screens. So there's lots of new bikes coming out, and you're going to see it. Lots of news over the next couple of weeks of new bikes coming out. Well, the next month and a half, I would say. But yeah, watch your space and see what comes out. I mean, obviously, it depends what sort of bikes you like, doesn't it? I mean, if you're just into your Harleys, your V-twins, or your Indians, then obviously that's all you're going to be interested in. You might look at some Hondas, you might look at some BMWs, that kind of thing. Depends what sort of bikes you're into, doesn't it? I mean, I've never really thought one manufacturer is better than the other. I just think you either like that bike or you don't. You like that kind of style of bike or you don't, And it really depends. It really depends, doesn't it? I mean, I like Harleys, but I'm not sure if I'm really an Indian kind of person. Just not by the way they look, but it's just purely by the way. Sorry, not by the way they perform, but it's more the way they look. I'm just not convinced that they're my kind of style of bike. Whereas some of the Harleys, not all, but some I am. But there's lots of other bikes as well. Honda, Kawasaki, BMW, whatever, Triumph. Some bikes I really like. Some bikes I'm not so keen on. So I've always said it's the bike that I go for, not necessarily the manufacturer. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a Harley for my next bike if I went for another bike. It probably would, I've got to say. It'll probably be something like that. But I'm more likely, as I said before, to go for a used other bike. Like I've done now. I've got this project build here, right? This is 750 project build. If I ever complete it, because it's stalled right now, okay, completely stalled. But if I ever complete it, that will probably be my second proper road bike. My 125 trail bike, which I've just put back together again after I blew the engine, that I'll probably just keep as a bit of fun and take out once in a blue moon on a trail or something like that. If I ever find some dirt tires for it, I'll probably just whack those on and away I go. So that'll already be 3 bikes in the workshop. But as I say, I'm more than happy just to stick with my Harley right now, and just if I wanted to buy extra bikes to do other things, I'd probably buy older bikes to either to work on or to do up or to ride. If I had to get another bike to change to replace the Harley, let's say, not sure what I'd go for. And I've always liked the Street Glide. I've got to say, I've always liked the Street Glide, but I think it's a big, heavy bike. But I've always liked the Street Glide. So it's whether you would go for something like that or you go for something that is a little bit. Well, the thing is, I don't think it's too heavy for me right now. But you got to think, in a few years, it depends. I mean, I always say this about bikes as well. It really depends where you have to push them, where you have to maneuver them. If you've got a big open garage where you got easy access just to ride in and ride out, let's say, then the weight isn't usually a problem if it's flat ground, right? You just roll up to your garage, you open the garage door, and you just ride in, and then you just ride out, or push it back. Isn't a problem. But if you have to start maneuvering it in between cars and very tight angles, you have to bend the bike over just to get it around a corner and stuff like that. A heavy bike isn't going to be the good thing. And it's exactly the same as I say, going off-road on trails and things like that. If it's all flat, hard, compacted, dry surface, then any size bike is fine. Even the big ADVs are fine. As soon as you're starting to get into tough stuff, challenging terrain, and you're slipping and sliding, you have to actually start manhandling the bike, then lighter the better. For me, lighter the better. So it's one of those things. Lighter the better. Hi John, how are you? And SSW, I love those 125 trail bikes. They're so much fun. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it is. When you look at that, so much fun. I as I say, if I'm going to get another bike, I would do that. Now, if you're looking at new bikes as well, if you go to the website, if I quickly just show up the website, I'll quickly share that. I've moved it around on the website as well. Here we go, that one. There we go. Right, let me just make sure that's up. Yeah, okay, so on the website here, you'll see that you go right at the far right, the resources, you'll see there. And the resources page, you've got all these links to petrol motorcycles, electric motorcycles, motorcycle hangouts, motorcycle events, projects, books and media. There's also all the YouTube playlists there as well. But if you go to petrol motorcycles, you'll see all the manufacturers there. And if you click on anyone, let's say Fantic, right, you'll have all the links, there to all the different motorcycles. So the Caballero Explorer 500 2022, if you click on that, for example, you'll see, there we go, there's the write-up on it as well. So if you're more into electric bikes, let me just get rid of that, electric motorcycles, same kind of thing. You go there, you look at a particular manufacturer, and you'll see, okay, it's either a link directly to their website, or it's, let's just have a look here, Cake Motorcycles here. Then you've got some individual write-ups on particular bikes as well. So there's a massive amount of information there on the website, but it's purely there for you to access there. So I will try and update this as well for 2023. I don't think there's any need to update it right now, because there's going to be lots and lots of information coming in. But as a resource, if you want to go to those pages, and you can access all the information, or just get basically a little bit of an insight. But as I say, a lot of the information I just take direct from the manufacturer's website as well. Just give it in small bullet points, and I just put a direct link to the website as well, to the manufacturer website. So they're getting traffic from me direct to them as well. And so, but hopefully you've got a one-stop place where you can see all my stuff, but all manufacturer stuff that I'm interested in as well. Right, anyway, so that's it. I think that's it for this little live stream. I say I wanted to test this out. I think it's a little bit jumpy, it's a little bit jittery. This I think having this second screen, I don't think it works okay, but not amazingly well. But anyway, so hopefully you enjoy the rest of your weekend. So I'm just about to go and have a bit of afternoon rest, as it were, before the football starts. So I've got to go and watch that. But anyway, hope you enjoy your time. And I say I'll be on for another live stream next time as well. And I'll probably give advance notice of what I'm going to be talking about. But I'll probably be talking about a particular subject. And now it could be, if you're into cameras, if you're into whatever, the things that are affecting us all, that kind of thing, whatever it is, then just I'll make a different live stream for that. I mean, I've got a whole host of topics to talk about, but as I say, some things, if you want me to go through a particular topic, then just drop us a line, drop us an email, or drop us a message or something, and say, can you talk about this? Can you want to talk about that? That kind of thing. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. And to say, this is just a real insight into all the information that I've been getting the last few weeks. I've been getting lots and lots of emails from manufacturers, and then I kind of look at the motorcycle press and see what they do and how are they coming out with stories about it. So as I say, this is a resource which you can use as well. I say I just get the press releases anyway, because I used to have a motorcycle magazine as well, so it's all it's still feeding into me. But as I say, this is the time of year when you get lots and lots of new bikes coming out, and new products as well, and new sorts of merchandise, because just like in the fashion industry, they change from the summer to the autumn collection, or autumn to the winter collection as well. So now you're also going to see a lot of autumn winter motorcycle products coming out as well. But anyway, listen, I will be back for another live stream. It might be sometime this week in the evening. I probably might do a night show, actually, and talk about all the stuff. But thanks for your support. Thanks for everything. Thanks for joining in the show this afternoon. And I'll catch you again whenever that is. But all I can say is ta-ra for now. Cheers.